All right, we're going to try this again. Now, somebody was messing with our feed. Somebody was trying to keep us off the air. I don't know who it was. They're trying to keep us from dropping dimes. But they can't keep us off.
Somebody we got a suspect, I think, though. The chat is working. We might have a suspect.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to put the comment up from the last one. Saying, yeah, they were trying to keep us down. Now, if you can see us in the stream, give us a comment in the chat. Say you can see. We can see you. You can see us live here at 5. If we can see us live at 5 on Dropping Dimes, let us know that you are with us. We can say thank you, Nuber. Thank you. We are here. See, I was saying the last time that I love these brothers. I love these guys who I literally watch grow up. I watch go from boys to men. Because when in our pre-show, which is literally like right before the show, yeah, this is not, it can never make it on the air.
It got to be on HBO. It would have to be on HBO probably.
Our pre-show is not fit for, it's not airworthy.
Pay-per-view.
It got to be on pay-per-view. You got to pay to see that.
It's not the type of thing that I think goes on in the halls of the ESPNs of the world, because they would probably get booted out.
But Sam, you were saying that we had a remedy for that. That select few people in the chat, the committed ones, the ones dropping, their dimes and carrying on. We're gonna get a group in-person session. No phones, right? Leave your phones outside in the bucket, and we're gonna just have a pre-show. Essentially, that's what I heard. That's what you said.
No, brother, I don't trust nobody like that.
That's what you said,
No.
We
have sponsors. We have sponsors that we have to be mindful of and sensitive to.
So you don't trust me and Daniel, is what you're saying?
Oh, I trust y'all, and I care about y'all. So I know you have.
He don't trust us, chat. He don't trust us.
Hey, DJ, I don't know if I trust myself.
I trust myself.
You're not gonna jeopardize the bottom line, fellas. You're not gonna jeopardize the bottom line. And so I was talking about our great sponsors like Golden Limo, and you met the owner and CEO of Golden Limo last week, Sean Duvall, who, when we say we ride on Golden and we mention them, you think we're talking, when we say Michigan rides on Golden, you think we're just talking about Michigan football. And while they're great supporters of Michigan football and Michigan athletics, it goes so beyond the athletes in Michigan football and the Michigan athletic department. I was taking my mom to her latest appointment earlier this week, rolling across the Michigan medical campus, and I saw Golden buses all over that campus because Michigan medicine rides on Golden. And coming up next week for my mom's next appointment, because I was just saying on the last one of the most trying things going on in my life right now is taking care of my mom. So getting her back and forth to all of her appointments, which are down here in Ann Arbor. She lives over an hour away. Getting her back and forth to all of these appointments, multiple appointments per month, is difficult. And so my mom is going to ride on Golden, getting her down here so I can get her to her latest appointment. Not some ride share service who you don't know the driver. You don't know that they know where they're going. You don't know who she's going to be in the car with. You don't know any of that stuff. With Golden, you know she's going to be on time. Every time she's going to be safe. All of that. Whether it's in Southeast Michigan, anywhere in this country, anywhere in the world, when you ride with Golden, you're riding different. Stand by it. Guarantee it. And of course, the added perk and benefit when you're with Michigan and you ride on Golden, you're supporting someone who loves and cherishes Michigan just as much as you do. Supporting this latest round of student athletes right now is Zeke Berry, Samaj. Getting up with young Andrew Marsh now. And super committed on the NIL front as well. It's Sean Duvall and the folks over at Golden Limo. So again, you're looking to you need ground transportation services. You need to ride on Golden. Go to goldenlimo.com, and that's anywhere in the country. You don't have to just be in Southeast Michigan. You can ride on Golden anywhere in the country through them or their transportation partners. Just go to goldenlimo.com. All right, fellas, the combine. The combine is here. And Michigan, I believe, is 9 invitees. I keep forgetting about the Gotta remember to throw him in there as well. But there are 4 likely first rounders, almost certain first rounders for Michigan. Of course, it's going to be Mason Graham. He's a lock top 10 guy, probable top 5 guy. He's gonna smash it. Will Johnson not gonna work out in the combine. I think that story was initially reported. Now, I'm not mistaken, I'm going to give proper credit to the first to report it. I believe that was initially by ESPN's Jordan Reed, who said Will Johnson is skipping the workout portion of the NFL Scouting Combine and is going to focus on Michigan's Pro Day on the 21st. That's not a surprise, guys. He had the foot injury. He had been rehabbing it for some time, and I know in talking to some people in the circle that was coming along well. But Devin and Dan, you guys know this. You work on rehabbing a certain part of your body. That gets well. Well, if you haven't been doing full body workouts, once you start getting back to doing everything, the rest of your body's like, hold up, homie. Yeah. Like, wait a minute. We haven't been doing everything. Now you got to get your whole body back in tune. And I imagine the next month or so, it'll be about getting everything back in being tip-top condition for Pro Day.
Yeah, I think it's smart. I think it's smart to make sure that you're at your 100% best, right? Because there's a lot of money on the line, right? A lot of money on the line. Now, Will Johnson will be drafted. He'll play for a long time, no matter when he's drafted. However, it's a big difference between number 5, if you didn't work out and re-injure yourself or whatever, and your body still is good, and number 25, right? That's a big gap. And, we don't know where he will go, and he'll be fine regardless. But I think you have to maximize that initial opportunity to cash in on getting drafted as high as you can. And if his camp believes that his body will be in a better position on the 21st, then by all means, have those meetings, right? Talk ball. Let him know, that the football acumen is there, and which everybody knows, right? He's just going to reaffirm what everybody knows, and then go out in a controlled environment in your pro day and light it up.
Yeah, I think this is one of those deals where I don't think he hurts himself. I don't think he hurts himself by not running today.
Oh, of course not.
I think as
the tape is first, Sam. The tape is always first. The tape is always first, and he's got a plethora of big sixes in which he was not ran down by offensive players, right? So the tape is first, and I think he's got a real chance. The big, long corner, he's got that opportunity to be just like Richard Sherman in a defense with Pete Carroll in Las Vegas that I just know that zone, that cover 2, and then get a chance to have those man opportunities because he's so good in man-to-man defense. I think he would thrive in that situation. So I think they have their eye on him the most.
Yeah, the question for him is, can he get under 4.5? Like I think
he can.
Yeah, he'll run 4.5. Can he get under 4.5?
Yeah,
will be the question. Now, listen. Even if he's 4.5, I think will be he will be an excellent pro. Like I am convinced this dude is going to be elite. I just think his short area quickness, his ball skills, his football IQ,
physicality, the ability to tackle, the ability to be a force player in the alleys. I think that he has a unique skill set that you just don't see with a bunch of corners and think Woolen, right? Woolen is a world-class fast, but I'm talking about his physical skills outside of just being the fastest man on the field at all times. He's not a really talented corner for Seattle because he's the fastest man on the field. His physicality, his ability to understand what the offense is trying to do to him, I think those are big parts of why. Because if you're just fast and tall, plenty of people will get an opportunity, right? It's not, I mean, that helps, right? Being super fast really helps, but it's about that football acumen, that ability to recognize, diagnose, the ability to be physical at the line of scrimmage, whether it be in the run game or just with bigger wide receivers. I think he has a real chance to be special in that way.
Yeah, he is, and he is sudden. Like when I see him have to react, whether it's reacting to a move, reacting to the ball, he gets there really, really quickly. So I just, to me,
Sam, I want to give a lot of his reaction, like half. I'm going to put it right down the middle. A lot of that reaction is his brain, right? And so, being with the Steelers in the NFL, it's like you wonder why everybody seems so much faster. Well, it's because they're smarter, right? He was playing on an entirely different level. His brain allowed him to react so much faster than other players. And that's why he's special. Not to mention, he's just got natural reaction skills where he can react when things are happening. But I would give half of that to not his physical gift, but to his mind and his ability to understand football and allow him to play 2 steps ahead, almost like a nice chess player.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to play right away. And this is another thing that teams need to know, because there's going to be this narrative that you're going to see some people try to spin about him based on this last year, and even based on what is happening with the combine. Like, hey, he's always hurt. This dude, his ability to play hurt was off the charts. He played at such a high level in his career, banged up. I think that's one of his best attributes. Like, if you do your research, NFL teams, and this is one of the things that I would do with a couple NFL teams every year, or in agents every year. They like go through Michigan's guys. They're like, let's talk about this guy. Let's talk all down this. One of the things I'll say about Will Johnson is just what I said. If you watch the tape and some of his best games, watch him against Marvin Harrison. He was banged up in that game. He wasn't 100% in that game. And look at how he played. Like this
Big
guy.
Big Ten championship.
Come on, man.
Against the one wide receiver, Purdue, who's catching 40,000 balls a year.
Like that is not to be overlooked, because, I mean, that game, how often are you playing at 100%? Rarely, if ever. I mean, you got to be able to play banged up.
I mean, a lot of people can't last because they can't play banged up, right? They have to be perfect and 100% to perform well. So his ability to perform at the highest level, where he's a top 5 pick, top 10 pick, whatever you want to rank him, his ability to be a first rounder while battling injury is insane. I mean, because most people fresh, right, completely healthy, cannot become that.
Yeah. So we skipped over Mason. I don't see very little chance Mason falls out of the top 5.
I would think about him at 1. Have you watched him? No, and that's why I'm not a GM. But listen to me, man. What Aaron Donald was able to do for the Los Angeles Rams, if they don't have Aaron Donald, they don't win a Super Bowl, period. Period. If that is what the value could be at that position, I don't know why not. I don't see why not. Change the game and go get him as high as you can get him, because that man is a monster, especially with the quarterback class. People saying it's a little iffy. It's no guy that's just to the top, surefire Hall of Fame type player. Man, you might want to think about it. Think about it. I'll probably get fired.
Hey,
then they'll go win the Super Bowl.
I said this the first time I saw him. I went out to see him play against they played Mater Dei. And this dude played every snap of that game. You hear what I said? Not every offensive.
Defensive or offensive, yeah.
Every snap. Special team.
He played kickoff too?
Every snap. every snap of the game. Special teams too.
Wow.
It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. I was like, this is unreal, man. This one of your best players, and you not taking him off the field.
No, Sam. See, you got to think football. Not just he's one of your best players. He's a lineman. There are times where linemen are just not supposed to be on the field.
Right. Now, of course, he came off the field a snap here or a snap there. I don't want to make it sound like he never ever came off the field for a snap. He did, but he's playing every single team. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I was like, man, this is why are we playing special teams, Mason? Like, I mean, you don't have to do that. I think you give us the best chance to win. I think me being on the field and so to me, the story that it told me was this dude, his motor is off the chart. I have never seen a guy, all my years of all the players that I've watched, I have never seen a dude with a motor that surpasses his. It is by far the most impressive trait he has. He has power. He has exceptional quickness. Like he has the hand fight technique. He has all of that. But his best attribute is his motor is off the charts, fellas. Like this dude and that's one of the things that you wonder about with linemen. Are they going to take plays off? He never takes a play off.
I mean, honestly, if you're worried, if you're thinking about, okay, do we take Mason Graham top 5, top 3, top 1, whatever? Go watch him play against the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes. Don't skip. Just watch every defensive snap, and then that'll tell you everything you need to know, man. Absolutely dominating the national championship team, right? And essentially kicking them in the butt so that they can go win the national championship. So they should send him a thank you letter, honestly.
Yeah, so when I say he played every snap, you know what I mean. He played offense, defense, special teams, but can't nobody sit there and play every snap of the game. You know what I mean?
Hey, DG, he had a Rick James moment. You were there, asked Rick James.
Yeah,
I didn't do that. Then the second time, I remember grinding my feet.
He said, "I'm not the person that just go grinding my feet in people's couches." Yeah. I guess I do remember grinding my feet at Eddie Murphy's couch. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, Sam.
Yeah, he can't listen. He can't sit there and not take a play or two off. But still, it's more than most humans. I don't know. I haven't seen another guy play offense, defense, and in all the special teams as much as what he did. Like it was unbelievable. I was like, man, this dude is off the charts.
You know what's super impressive about him that I think people are gonna find out, because he's built so stout. He looks like he's short like Aaron Donald, but he is not. I remember going to meetings, before the Northwestern game, and he comes in, and because I know I've seen him before, but it's always been from far away, right? On the field, I'm walking past. I never get to really size him up. Man, he is my height.
Yeah, he's 6'5".
That man is a giant. He's just so wide that it looks like he's not that tall. And I think that's going to be the biggest surprise for people at the combine. They'll be like, wait a minute. This little dude is this dude? Are you this big?
Nice.
It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I said,
hey, DG, that's crazy you say that, bro, because I've never seen him in person. So I watch him on TV. He looks like he's 6'2".
Much taller than Aaron Donald.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He just like somehow he plays with such a low center of gravity as if he was like 6 foot. Right, or 5'11", and he is not, man. I'm talking about he was looking at me eye to eye, and he might be a little bit taller than me, honestly. And I'm a tall guy.
That's crazy.
Relatively tall.
Crazy.
Yeah, he was unreal. He was unreal. I was looking at my text. Yeah, he's 6'5". His hands are huge.
Daniel, did you just hear what he said?
Yeah, that's crazy. Bro.
He looks like he's 6 foot at the tallest.
Nah.
He's actually a little taller than Grant. I think he's a little taller than Kenneth Grant, but Kenneth Grant just got them. He just looked longer. It seems like to me.
Yeah.
Hey, that dude's a monster if he that tall.
He a monster. That's what I'm telling you.
Well,
Like
he's a
everybody
monster
think he got
anyway.
super short arms. Not the case.
Yeah, he's huge. He is a huge dude.
All right, Paul.
You cannot let him get off the board out of the top 5. You be ridiculous. I would choose him before I choose one of them quarterbacks if I were one of those top teams. But that's me. That's me personally. Same thing with Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. I would choose any of those 3 before I choose one of those quarterbacks. I digress.
And that's why we'll be fired. Because what's going to happen is those quarterbacks are going to go to good teams where they don't have to carry them, and then they're going to become great. And everybody going to be saying, well, why you didn't pick them? Well, they weren't great enough to do that with a bad team. They just got to a good team, a la Dak Prescott. Okay? If Dak Prescott went to the Lions way back then, he wouldn't have been doing what he's doing. I'm just telling you.
All right. So the next one off the board for Michigan will probably be C-Love, probably be Colston Loveland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless KG lights it up at the pro day and just does something unbelievable, which he's totally capable of.
Very capable.
Right. But right now, most mocks have Colston Loveland coming off the board next, which again, I mean, Colston Loveland, the only tight end that, you know, I think teams would look at above him is what, the Penn State guy?
If I'm the Chiefs, I trade up to go get Colston Loveland. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say whatever it takes, but if you hear rumblings of somebody in those teams trying to go get Colston Loveland, I would go get him the same way they went to go get Patrick Mahomes, and that could be the new Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes kind of what do you want connection for a very long time. I would go get him, not at all costs, but at some cost. I would go get Colston Loveland if I was the Chiefs.
Yeah, I've seen a few teams. I've seen a few places kind of say the Chargers with Colston Loveland, the Bengals with Colston Loveland, kind of throw them out there. But yeah, I mean, Tyler Warren is going to be the first tight end off the board. Yep. From Penn State, and then Colston not long after him.
I really wonder how Tyler Warren translates. And the reason I say that is because he's a great football player. But I don't know how polished he is as a route runner. I don't know how polished he is as a pure tight end of what the NFL wants right now. Obviously, he's a blocker and all those different things. And he played quarterback, so he has kind of a good feel for the game. But I really wonder how his skills translate to the next level where we're not going to gadget you to death. We're not going to allow you to just gadget. We have good players, right? We're not going to just do you with the gadget different stuff. You're going to have to be a tight end and that alone. And I'm not saying he can't become a great tight end or whatever, but I just wonder, are you patient enough if he doesn't have it right away to make sure that he comes along and becomes the guy he's capable of becoming because he's so used to doing everything.
Man, can you imagine Colston with the Bengals, though? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He would be – oh, man. Oh, my –
Wait, why you say the Bengals? I said the Chiefs. Can you imagine it with the Chiefs? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, he can but I think he would be with the Bengals. He would be the guy right now. He's going to have to wait.
Why? Why would he have to wait for with the Chiefs?
Have
you seen Travis Kelce play football lately? Travis Kelce's done. Right? And he probably got a couple years left of mentoring, whatever, but he's not going to be the focal point from here on out. That was evident. So? He was like, so this is the thing. Everybody thought, and I bet on it, that he was going to be able to turn it on in the playoffs, and he just couldn't. Right? And it's not because he's not, he's old. I mean, he's older now. Right? And I think he understands that. This is not a shot at Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce understands that his time is kind of dwindling down. So I would say, if not retirement, he's playing one more year. And it's going to be as a mentor to a really talented Colston Loveland, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hey, listen, he would be the next one. Either one of those would be fantastic situations. But boy, oh boy, if you go to the Bengals and they re-sign those two dogs on the outside, man, you gonna get a free and clear picture all day long.
It's true.
Now you gonna be the focal point, and not to say that you're not gonna still be sweet with Patrick Mahomes throwing you the football. But ain't nobody gonna be covering you with the Bengals when you got those two dudes outside. You're gonna be free and clear.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I think Jamar Chase vetoes that right away. Hold on. I'm already sharing with T. Higgins. I'm not sharing with no tight end now.
Hey, especially with a poor offensive line, right?
Throw me the ball. I don't care how many people cover me. I don't care if he open. I need to touch that rock. He's already made it clear, and they got to pay him. So, you know.
Yeah.
ADG with that offensive line, you bring in the tight end. Now he's going to his tight end.
Personally, I think the Bengals can't afford to go offense in this draft.
Yeah.
I think you got to spend your pick on defense. They got to fix that.
Offensive line.
Or offensive line.
Yeah.
But at this point, the defense is such a sieve that you got to start fixing that at some point.
Hey guys, I got something to say, and as you know, sometimes my brain stuff just pop in it, and I have to say this. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Am I allowed? Can I have this time? I learned this like a week ago. So you know when somebody say, "Man, it's cold as hell." Remember that?
Yeah.
That's not cussing. Hell, they're talking about hell that comes from the sky, not hell down there. It's cold as hell. Did y'all know that? Chat, tell me if you knew that. Because I'm telling you, I think everybody just learned that just now. Because I just learned it. And I was like, light bulb, it's cold as hell. You can say that on TV. We're talking about hell from the sky. It's cold as hell. Because hell, how cold is hell, Sam? Because it sounds ridiculous. Cold as hell. Hell is supposed to be warm. Hot even. Cold as hell is the hell from the sky. I know this has nothing to do with what we're saying. But I had to say it. And it's, I know, light bulb. I see you, Sam. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead. I'm sorry. My bad. Everybody got smarter. Everybody watching the stream in the chat, on us personally being in the background, we all just got smarter, and you're welcome. So,
well, that may be how it was meant. That's not how we were saying it back home.
No, it's cold as hell.
It's cold as hell.
Man, it has warmed up, but this is Michigan. It could be cold as hell in a couple days.
Yeah. All right. So, KG, I love you. Just know that. You my guy. Hey, KG hurt. He got a bum leg. He got all kind of stuff wrong with him. He got all kind of stuff wrong with him.
You are crazy. You want this man to not put his full skills on display so he can fall to the Lions. What is wrong with you? You don't even want to do his pro day. You just want to work out for the Lions and have them draft him wherever they drafted. You are a sick individual, Sam. You're sick and you need help. Does Go Limo help you with your sickness? Because we need them to help you.
I'm sorry, KG. I'm sorry, man.
Oh,
hey,
man.
KG said, he said at the combine, he said he wants to play for the. Okay, he said he would love to play for the Lions. I'm trying to help a brother out.
No, man.
I'm trying to help a brother out. He said he would love to play for the Lions. If he plays for the Lions, he'd be playing with Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, this would the development that they've shown with Aleem McNeil. And I think it's a really apt comparison because watching Aleem McNeil's development, I see KG as a better Aleem McNeil. I feel like his upside is very similar athleticism. I feel like KG is still honing himself as an athlete. The question that they're going to have is stamina and motor, right? Because KG started out as 3 up there, and has been coming down. Showed himself to be a guy who could stay on the field more this past year.
Showed a great motor this past year for sure.
Yeah, showed a great motor and started to show some technical acumen. You see him use his hands and get off blocks. You really started to see that aspect of his game grow and evolve, much in the fashion that we've seen that kind of growth from Aleem McNeil, who was not an interior guy. I think I showed you guys. I mean, when I went to watching Lee McNeil in high school, man, he was not an interior guy. And Lee McNeil was a fullback, tight end, linebacker guy. These are all learned attributes for Lee McNeil, which is why I say I see some similarities in his ability to sort of tap into his upside as he gets into his pro career. I'm seeing that with KG as he becomes a pro and as he gets more into the pro ranks and gets with a defensive line coach and everyday strength and conditioning. I really think that this dude is scratching the surface. You put him next to Aleem on the same line with Aiden. Man, I think this dude can be an all pro. I think he can be that guy from 340. He was 345. 345.
That's a big boy.
345, man. Come on,
That's
man.
a big boy.
Come on, man. I don't buy that. I love you, KG. I don't buy 345.
Oh, they saying that he was 345?
345.
That boy look about 350, 355.
It he got down to 345, which is good.
Right.
And then he got down to 330.
But Sam, if he could run dudes down like he did against Penn State at
I don't care how big he is.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't care how big
that's what I'm saying. Then he got down to 332 and he ran down Katron Allen.
Yeah.
That was what I remember watching the play. And the commentator was like, look, big run by Katron Allen. And I'm like, see, if DG was on the call, he would have got it right away.
Yeah.
He would have got
Anytime
it right
I
away.
see somebody with a big number running fast, oh no. Okay. Hey, Tim, hold on, Tim. That play was nice. How about this dude? This is the story of this play right here. This big old dude with his knees high running as fast as he can.
And I'm like, man, this is not the story. Whoever you are, commentator.
Oh, the internet got it. The internet got it right away.
Yeah.
It was all over Twitter.
What are you talking about? Did you see this dude just walk him down?
Hey, DG,
You got it. That saved the touchdown.
on his
That was
draft
running
profile, they should just put the link to that Twitter
that's it.
run for his 40
else.
time. Yeah, like 40 time. Put that link right there. That's all you need to see.
40? What is 40? What is 40? I just ran down one of the fastest backs in America. Stop.
And he's 360, 350 pounds. How many
I'll
times
weigh
he
him
gonna
by
run?
150 pounds.
Like how many times he's gonna run 40 yards in the real game? Like,
Yeah, that's your first round draft tape right there, in my opinion. And so, to me, he's not going to be on the board at 28. So let's be clear. Love you, KG. I said that in jest. He tweaked his hamstring, so he's not running. To be clear, folks, KG's not running his combine.
I don't see why he would run at his pro day. Why? We've seen you run. We're good. We're good. We are good. We don't need to see you run. No.
You should walk around with that link on a t-shirt or something.
Yeah, get that QR code. Just put your phone up to this QR code and you watch me run, okay? In real football games, not in shorts and t-shirts. Watch me run with shoulder pads, helmet, thigh pads. I don't know if you wear thigh pads. You're pretty big. You probably don't wear them. No hip pads. They don't wear hip pads no more. But I have my football uniform on. Watch the QR code. Don't try to have me running t-shirt and shorts. Yeah.
So, but he's I think you run because you put an actual time on it. That dude can, you know how it is, Devin. They see that time on the watch. He could boost his stock. That dude could move up into the top 15.
Yeah, I guess. But if anybody's smart, they don't need to see him run to see how fast he is. That man, he looked like he runs his arms and knees. I said, how's he doing this? He's passing a lot of tight ends and wide receivers.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And so if he notches a big time, no, it definitely vaults his stock. If I'm Brad Holmes, and given what we talked about last week with all this posturing that the Browns are doing, acting like, well, we're gonna hold on to Myles Garrett, which I don't.
Myles Garrett just told them, I don't want to sign no extension with y'all.
Right. I mean, why do you want to hang on to a guy who's made it? First of all, he's done and said all the right things. He had one snafu during this whole time with you, and has been a model citizen. But for one issue, gonna be a Hall of Famer, and you haven't done your part. You haven't put winning pieces around him. You could actually get a windfall if you go ahead and trade him, but you want to just hold him because you feel like
people gonna trade a lot for Myles Garrett,
right? And so, but what does it get you to just hoard him, just have him to be there because you think people are gonna come sit in the stands? So, I think the fans would rather have the picks personally. If you're not gonna win, this is just me as a fan. If we're not gonna win, give me the picks for the future. Even though I know, or even if I feel like you with the picks is a crapshoot, I still would rather have the picks personally, rather than just sit here and we running in place, because I know we not winning games with we had Myles Garrett last year and we were losing games. Look at where we at.
Yeah, and the thing is, even though Myles Garrett, in my opinion, is a guy that can affect winning, right? Right now, he's not. And when you get picks, you can get players, you can get a lot of different pieces. Those guys, as a unit, the draft picks and the players that you get, because you're going to get a haul, they can affect winning a little better than just one single guy that is an amazing player. And then it's a win-win because Myles Garrett can go and affect winning for a team that's much better, right? Yeah. It's hard for him. He can't affect winning as much with the Browns because they're just not a good enough team. But if he goes to a better team, he can affect winning in a big way. So now both sides win, in my opinion.
Right, and then it starts to, not only does it not affect winning, now it starts to become an issue on the team. You got a guy that's not happy. Now it becomes a very bad situation. A guy who's beloved in the organization, that attitude starts to permeate. It starts to affect other guys that are in the locker room. Maybe even starts to affect the fans who love him. Now that love, is it really giving back as much as if it's clear that he doesn't even want to be there? Might as well just go ahead and trade him. It just doesn't make sense, because you know how it works. Brandon Ayuk, he laid down the blueprint. What do they call it? A hold in. You show up to camp and to practice, but you just don't practice.
And the one thing about Myles Garrett is he's going to be working his butt off, right, on his own time. So he's going to be perfectly fine and say, but I got to stand pat. I have to stand on business, is what the kids are saying. I got to stand on business. I got to. I can't participate because y'all are disrespecting me. I've given you the best years of me. He's like in a marriage. I've given you all my best years. Set me free and sign these papers, please.
Yeah. So, but anyway, they're acting like they're going to stand on their principle. He's our guy. We got him locked up. He has to stay here. So fine. Lions have got to address the trenches. You can get offensive linemen later in the draft. In the first round, don't be talking to me about no Jack Sawyer. And don't be talking to me about no Ohio. Man, it's like every mock draft I see, they're either talking about an Ohio State defensive lineman who got bullied in past years, right? You even got bullied this year. Jack Sawyer was on the ground when Khalil Mullings was running down the field. Why are you showing me one of those guys? And then I said, Tui Mosley.
Wait, who got Jack Sawyer going in the first round?
Hey, on his belly, Sam. Not on his back, on his belly.
Sam, people got Jack Sawyer going in the first round?
Yes. First it was Jack Sawyer. Then it was Tui Moluwau. Now in other mocks, I see the Lions drafted an Ohio State offensive lineman. They were getting punked all over the field. Why do they have the Lions taking Ohio State anything on the line? I want nothing from Ohio State on the line. Nothing in the trenches. All right? I understand that they won the title. Do you know why they won the title? Because they didn't have to see Michigan. That's why they won the title. They didn't have to see Michigan. Do we understand? NFL people, do we understand? They didn't have to see no dogs. That's why they won. Period. That's not what I want with the Lions. Let's get rid of that. That being the case, Brad Holmes, man, you got to, just like you traded up to go get J-Mo, we got to trade up to go get KG. You got to trade up to go get my man. This is what we got to do. We spoke Aiden into existence a couple years ago. Made it happen. KG can be a difference maker. We missed our chance at Jalen Carter. And I get it. I get why. And we wound up with a great haul. Like we got Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, we fine. I have no qualms with what we wound up doing that year. But now we got to start building up that defensive line. I mean, we talked about it with the Eagles. If you can't block them, you got problems. We saw in Michigan. Can't block them, you got problems. We need to be able to win some games with defense, fellas. Well, not you, Daniel, because you're not a Lion. You're not with the We got to be able to win some games with defense. So let's start building this defensive line up in the fashion in which we see the Eagles getting it done. So you got Aiden, you got Aleem, you add KG in that mix. I think we on our way, Devin.
Oh, yeah. I think that teams will have issues because and if I'm the Lions, you know what I do? I do what the Eagles did with Georgia. Right. Just go ahead and just poach all the players that play at Michigan on defense and build this amazing defense and just roll like that. That's what I say. Because it's worked masterfully, right? And when you look at Michigan, right, the defense has been comparable to those Georgia defenses. Outstanding defensive play. So I don't see why not. It's a copycat league. Copy it. Do what you got to do. Get all the Michigan players and enroll like that.
So where do you think? I saw they were talking to Josiah. He's gonna get pushed down because of his height. I think somebody's gonna get a steal.
Mm-hmm.
Probably down around. Can he sneak up into the third round? Because I think he's gonna test well. I think that might be pushing it out probably around the fourth round.
I think it really depends on how
well. You know who got a bunch of third round picks, huh?
Yeah. Well, the Lions I know gave up one.
Now, we ain't talking about no Lions, Sam.
The Lions got a third round pick back for Aaron Glenn.
We ain't talking about those Lions, Sam. I'm talking about my Saints. We're gonna trade down. We'll have multiple first round picks. We're gonna draft 2 Michigan players in the first round. We'll get Josiah Stewart, one of our 4 third round picks, and then we just gonna be Michigan South.
I think Josiah Stewart has the most to gain from the combine, honestly.
Yeah.
I think if he is elite long jumper, elite vertical leap, elite sprint, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that really helps just because it's like, okay, we can look past the height thing because, first of all, ball is first. We watched you play at the highest level for 2 straight years, dominating tackles. So that's good. But you are short. You are moving to a higher level. What are your physical gifts going to do to help you be successful? And if he shows that he's got elite special physical gifts in the testing, I think that it could be as early as the second round, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Late,
hey, man.
middle.
Listen, the dude, we've talked about this a lot. His power is uncanny.
Mm-hmm.
And he beasted a first round offensive tackle. And so you talk about game tape all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talked about it in this episode. So just pop that on. And
it's the most important thing.
A dude that they took real high last year got embarrassed. Got absolutely embarrassed. I mean, he embarrassed multiple high draft pick. You even look in this year's draft. There's some guys in the Texas game that he has some success against. Not every down, but still, there are some guys in the Texas game he has some success against. And yeah, Steve Horn talking about J.C. Latham from Alabama, who got handled. He got handled. Right? J.C. Latham don't want to see any part of Josiah Stewart in the NFL anywhere.
No chance.
So yeah, that's the one to be keeping an eye on too. Somewhere in the later round, unless, like you said, unless he tests really well. I'm curious when the running backs go, where is Donovan going to weigh in? Donovan played last year, I think 212, 215. I would be interested I'm willing to bet that he checks in around 200, between 200 205 pounds. I bet you that's probably where he's going to play in the NFL. If you ask him, I'm willing to bet that he'll say that, you know what, thinking, or if I had it to do over again, the idea of playing at what is like a bell cow weight, that's probably not me. I'm probably better served to be at that weight I was at my first 2 years. That's probably more me and where I'm going to be best served to play at as an NFL back.
Yeah, he looked really heavy a lot of times last year. And it even though he's still explosive at that weight, his most explosive weight, I think, like you said, is in the lower 200s. You don't have to be this huge guy anymore. The big back, I mean, there are some, but it's not like a guaranteed necessity. You have to be big at running back. Vision, explosiveness, and the ability to do multiple things, catch the ball at the backfield, different things like that, is much more important than being heavy, right, in my opinion. And I think, like you said, I think you should drop that weight, run extremely fast, right, because he's the guy that, okay, maybe you had some issues with vision, maybe you didn't have the production you had as a senior, but you go out there and you run 4.3, and then they cut on some of that tape that you got. I think that'll really help him a great deal.
Yeah, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Khalil. I think Khalil will absolutely get drafted, and I think Khalil is going to be part of a running back tandem. Like, I don't think he's just going to be some practice squad guy, some special teams guy. I think he's going to be like Hassan Haskins. I think he's going to be part of a 1-2 punch in the NFL. You're talking about a bigger back who is like Hassan in that he has exceptional feet. Something about Michigan, these last two incarnations of the bigger backs, they've had guys who had great feet.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, I think, a revelation to NFL teams when they really do their research on him. They're going to see a guy who sticks out with that. And then they're also going to discover that when they look past the fact that he played linebacker, he also has pretty good vision as well.
Yeah, I really, obviously it would be great for him to go in the third round, second round, or whatever. But if it gets any later than that, after the fourth round, I really hope nobody drafts him. And I hope he gets to pick where he goes, right? Because now you're in a position where you get to pick where you go. You're going to be the highest of commodities, and you can put yourself in the best position to be successful. You don't want some team late in the draft saying, oh, well, he's really, really good. We don't need him, but we can use him in practice, right? We can use him in camp to keep our running back fresh and give our defense a great look. We don't want that, right? I want him to have an opportunity to be, like you said, a part of a 1-2 punch. And honestly, because of his accelerated development from that first year to now, I think he can be a single back guy. I think he can be a running back for a team that they depend on. And then, obviously you always get spelled from time to time by other backs, but he is that lead back. I think he has that opportunity, but it's going to be hard to do if he goes after the fourth round, in my opinion, just because a lot of those picks are just kind of throwing him out there, right? And if he gets a chance to choose where he goes, now you got action. And I think keep an eye on the Steelers, right? Not completely happy with what they see from Najee Harris. Their ability to run the ball has been in struggle. How about toughness, strength, vision, a guy that has the attitude of a defensive player? Remember, defensive coach for the Steelers. How about a defensive player playing offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I think that Mike Tomlin would relish in that opportunity. And I think in that third round, don't be surprised if they go and get him and he becomes the Steelers running back that they so desire for so long since Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, man. It's I think that's another big dude with really good feet. You're right. That would be an interesting landing spot when all is said and done. That's the type of team that would, I think, appreciate and take notice of him in that way. So that's a very astute observation that I would keep a keen eye on. I haven't seen any of the sort of early times. Have you noticed any of the initial testing numbers that have popped out at you yet? I don't have I don't have any of the early returns up yet. Any of them pop out to you guys yet?
If you have big dude from Nebraska, that's it. Ran 4.8. The big Ty Robinson, man, he's a good player too. Interior lineman and tall, long arms. I think that he has a chance, especially after running so fast like he did.
Okay. All right. Well, we are definitely going to be keeping you posted for sure. Michigan's Pro Day coming up on March 21st. And that's when you're going to see all these guys do their thing, comfortable confines at home. That's when Will is going to be ready to go. Of course, KG, who tweaked his hamstring, going to be ready to go that day as well. And Brad Holmes, hey, brother. Hey, man. Hey.
Do what you got to do, huh?
Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. I think as much as they are saying that this draft is going to be, this is a great draft for the middle rounds. I heard one of the pundits say there's not much difference between 10 and 50. I think KG has a chance to really be special. I think he's one of those guys. If you identify the right guy who is not as close to his ceiling, and I think that's the difference. Like some of those guys in that mix are farther away from their ceilings than others. And I think KG is one of those guys, man. Like I still think he's scratching the surface. I think he, you got a guy like Mason who is already elite, and I think KG can get up to that level, man. Maybe not with the motor. Like I think that part of it is just God-given, that you are never, some guys just have that skill, that trait that other people just aren't going to be able to get. And with Mason, that part of it, you just aren't going to be able to get. But the other stuff, the speed, the quickness, and all that, the power, all that, man, KG, man. And KG's faster. Like he's got that part of it. Come on, Brad. You got to do that, brother. You got to do that.
I wonder how fast Mason Graham will run. I'm sure he run pretty fast for his size and height and all that, but I really wonder what number he would put up.
Yeah, and then, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with some of these other moves, like what happens with Matthew Stafford, what happens with Aaron Rodgers. That's gonna shake up some draft boards too. What happens with these quarterback dominoes is gonna shake up what different teams do in the draft. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out in the grand scheme of things. Before we switch gears, our other great sponsor here on Steady Droppin Dimes, we'll be having them back on very, very soon, the Ann Arbor Sports Commission. You've heard from the director of the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, Megan Hughes. She's been on a couple of times and talking about all the great work that they do with helping bring great events to this area. So often when you think about Ann Arbor, you think about the University of Michigan. That's all the great sports in this town are University of Michigan. When you think about Washtenaw County after Michigan, you think about Eastern, where there's so much more when it comes to sporting events in this area. And the Ann Arbor Sports Commission plays a huge role in helping bring those events to this town, to this area, whether it's through promotion, through organization, through helping to, helping fundraise. They do hotel coordination, venue recommendations, marketing support. They help with all of those things. Well, one of the events that they're helping to support is the NAIA Competitive Cheer and Dance National Championships, which are coming up about a month from now, March 28th and 29th at Eastern Michigan University, the George Gervin Game Above Center. Gonna be taking place, a 2-day event. We're gonna be having Megan on here in the next few weeks to tell you more about it. Tickets already available for you to purchase. You can find the ticket portal on their website at annarbor.org. But the NAIA is the only athletics association to offer a national championship in this sport. 12 dance teams, 15 cheer teams qualify for a preliminary and final national championship. And so if you are looking to get out and see the only championship event of its kind, it is coming to Washtenaw County next month. So again, save the date, March 28th and 29th, the NAIA Competitive Cheer and Dance National Championships at the Eastern Michigan University George Gervin Game Above Center. Save the dates. We're going to be telling you more about it in the weeks to come. Brought to you in part by our friends at the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, doing great work, like I said, to bring great events. Let
me give you a little known fact about ODG. Bring It On is in my top 10 all time. One of my favorite movies. Can watch it at any time. I'll be there. I'm just telling you right now. So we need to hit up that sport commission. I need great seats. I need to be up in that front row area. I need to be in the building. Cheerleading is exciting. I mean, I grew up going to the cheer competitions at Callahan Hall, growing up in Powell, and it was always exciting. Now, these are basically professionals, right? These are professional gymnasts, essentially. Can't wait. Very excited. See you guys there. Can't wait.
So Bring It On, or which one? Because I think
the first one. They start doing too much. Gabrielle Union, that first one. That first one was amazing. I watched the other ones. Nothing to write home about. It's kind of like Coming to America 2. It's like, okay, it's a movie. I don't hate it, but I'm not gonna watch it again. But
it must be some toros in that.
Man,
burr! It's cold in here. There might be some toros in the atmosphere.
Yeah. Clearly, it was one of his movies, for sure.
Love it.
We will put a link in the description, folks, for you to be able to get your tickets. Again, we will also have, you see the event calendar for a lot of the events that are coming to town that you'll be able to check out via the Ann Arbor Sports Commission. But the one that we were talking about here, March 28th and 29th, the NAIA Competitive Cheer and Dance National Championships, the only athletic association to offer a national championship in this sport. So again, save the date. You will see some outstanding action.
Sam, are you coming with me?
I'll come there with you, brother.
Man, I'm excited. I need a few tickets because I got, young go-getters. We also have young ladies, right? And they participate in cheer. That'd be it. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So excited. Let's go.
Yeah. So, and by the way, I also want to shout out Concordia University as well. So it's the Ann Arbor Sports Commission and Concordia University joint hosts in this, helping bring this event to this area. So want to shout them out as well. Absolutely.
Oh.
All right. So Daniel, inquiring minds want to know before we get out of here really, really quickly, because I know producer Ben has to scoot. What has happened to the ability of the Michigan basketball team to shoot the basketball, man? I mean, suddenly a team that was noted and assembled in part for his ability to shoot the basketball cannot throw it in the ocean. Michigan State comes in and shoots 40%. Michigan shoots under 30%. And then, of course, they'll go on the road against Nebraska and can't shoot it against them either.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of poor execution, right? I think they run a heavy Michigan's offense is basically a lot of concepts tied together, right? It's not like a structured or like a pattern offense. It's more concept. So when teams guard you a certain way, it can kind of get a bit shaky, get a bit helter-skelter a little bit. I think at times, especially against Sparty and against Nebraska, with the way Nebraska guarded us with their loading up to the strong side, right? They have guys on the heavy in the gaps. They got the weak side, got furthest guy away from the ball. It's all the way across the paint taking away Michigan's roles in the 4-5 pick and roll, taking away Michigan's other actions, right? Just basically clogging up the game, right? So I think it's a combination of the other team's defensive strategy, poor basketball decisions when guys do catch the ball in advantageous positions, and just a bit of fatigue as well. It's been a grinded out 10 games, right? They've played 10 games. The last 10 games have been, you know, by 2 possessions, 4 points is like the average margin of victory. So eventually playing those types of games takes its toll on you mentally and physically. I think you see, especially with Jones being out and Walters being out, with the lineup being 2 guys short, you're starting to see a little bit of physical and mental fatigue from these guys.
So Dusty talked a lot about the ingredients for the shot. He said, listen, as long as our process is good, I'm not going to discourage the guys from shooting. So are we getting them inside out? Are we getting them off the ball reversals? Right. Are they making them in practice? And he talking about making them in practice as it relates to Roddy. He said, hey, he's making them in practice. Listen, man, when Roddy came out shooting against, I ain't gonna lie to you, he came out shooting against Nebraska. I was like, hold on, bro.
Yeah, the first shot of the game, we covered that in our video. Like but that's what I mean by poor basketball decisions, right? He caught the ball with 12, 11 seconds left on the shot clock, and he shoots a contested 3, and he's 1 for like his last 25, or 1 for his last 30 or something like that from 3. So it's like, hey man, you got to make better basketball decisions when you catch the ball. You know you're struggling, put the ball on the floor and get to the rim, get to the free throw line, get yourself going. Make a play for somebody else. Don't settle for a contested 3 with 11 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, but he said that they're going down in practice. So I guess in one hand, maybe not the contested one. You say, hey, don't take that one. But there was an open one. For me, when they look as bad as they looked against Michigan State, because that's what was stuck in my mind. The shots that he took against Michigan State looked terrible. So when I see that, I'm like, hey, man, maybe we need to drive the basketball.
Yes.
I agree. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. You've been chipping paint off the rim. Let's put the ball on the floor and get 2 feet in the paint. Like, get 2 feet in the paint, put your shoulders on the rim, draw the defense, kick to somebody else. Like, let's expand the rest of what's within your wheelhouse, right? We don't want you doing stuff that you can't do. But I think you can attack closeouts and make better decisions off the dribble than catching the shit. And he shoots the ball really high, right? And I don't want to brag on him because he's had during that stretch, he's made big plays to get us out of a couple of those games. At Ohio State, he played well the Purdue game. So it just hasn't been consistent as far as shooting the basketball, or his decision making hasn't been consistent enough as well. So
yeah, he hit some big free throws, that last miss notwithstanding. Right. He hit some big free throws.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, the last Rutgers game, he was the key defense. I know he didn't play defense alone.
Right.
In that game, but he was the primary piece of the defensive strategy in that game. So want to shout that out, and don't want to put it all on him either.
Not at all.
Because listen, and Dusty made this point. They shot poorly against Michigan. They shot alarmingly bad against Michigan State. But Dusty's point was, we haven't shot it well now for a few weeks.
Right.
And so that's the part that I really wanted to harp on. And so when it's like that, when you're in a rut as a unit, as a team, and you feel like it's not like you're getting kind of quality looks for the most part, like how do you kind of shake out of that?
You just gotta keep shooting. You gotta keep shooting, keep getting the reps up before and after practice, during practice. You just gotta keep shooting. And one thing about being in a shooting slump, if you're a good shooter, you don't just you don't just like my dad used to say, you don't just we've been in a slump, you don't gradually come out of a slump. Like when you come out of a slump as a shooter or a good shooting team, you normally come busting out of the slump. So hopefully they have a game here in the near future where they come bursting out of that slump and hit, 12, 13, 14, 15 threes in the game and kind of get back on track to what we saw early in the year where they were making, 10 plus threes. They even had a game where they made 19 threes. I think if they can get back to shooting the ball at a high clip from three, obviously it's going to open up the rest of their offense and they'll go back to, scoring 80, 90 points on people.
Yeah. Keep shooting. I think you got to keep shooting, especially my guy Trey. Like Trey has been in a bit of a slump. He hasn't had a really good game now for a few. I think the last time you would say he had like a good game was the Indiana game. He came out hot against he gave them a lift out the gate against Purdue. But if you remember, after that game, Dusty was quite pointed in saying, I don't think Trey played well in this game. He said that specifically.
Yeah.
And so it's been a minute since Trey has played the type of game that I think he would say, he's capable of playing.
No, for sure.
And that definitely wasn't the case against Michigan State, where Jace Richardson was the best guard on the floor by far. He's a freshman.
Trey Holloman was the second best guard.
Right. And so that can't, especially when Michigan doesn't really have an established sort of backup guy that's going to come in and pick up the slack. Like Trey's got to be a guy. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But that's the job, right? That's the job. He's got to be the guy. And so they need him to shoot to get high, shoot to stay. That's why I don't have a problem with him. I know some people have some problems with some of the shots he's put up. And they feel like some of the shots he's kind of forced. And I guess I'm less critical of those shots. And I'm not just being a homer. I'm not just showing him blind deference. I feel like with him, I'm going to give him a little more leeway in the shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot mentality.
Yeah.
Because I need him to get on track.
Yeah, I think he's shooting 40, even though the slump, he's shooting close to, if not 40, he's shooting 39-40% from three for the season, right? So you have to allow him to keep shooting and give him that freedom to shoot the ball when he has a big advantage opportunity. So it's one of those things where I think he has to play better all around. I think his defense has been rather poor the last couple of games. We kind of talked about that in our film breakdown, kind of challenged him to, hey man, you're the point guard of this team. You're the leader, one of the leaders of this team. You can't do as much, like Chris Hunter said, can't do as much front running, right? It seems like his game gets better the more shots he makes. If he comes out, he starts off hot, then the rest of his game, he's clapping, he's talking, he's more active on defense. But then he goes a stretch where he doesn't get too many attempts, or he isn't making any shots, and his entire game changes, right? You see him giving up easy baskets on defense. You see him not blocking out like he did. Just look at the difference. Okay, we did our film breakdown. You remember the blockout we showed against Kaufman Wren when he hit him with the forearm shiver and then knocked him out and dude was on the floor, right, setting the tone. And then you come back against Michigan State and you let Cohen Carr basically run past you 3 times in that exact same situation to get offensive rebounds, which sets the exact opposite tone. So it has to be a little bit more consistency as far as his leadership and his willingness to give up his body and sacrifice some of his game to get the team going. So I think he has to step up his play if they want to win the Big Ten championship these last 4 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see if they can get that part back on track. They gotta shoot the basketball a lot better. It's one of their calling cards for this team. I mean, it just to see the shoe be on the other foot in the fashion in which it was against Michigan State was jarring. And that cannot be the case when they go up to East Lansing. A lot of basketball to play before that, though.
Yeah, they would need Reuben Jones tonight. They need him to be healthy because I think he can do a good job on Harper tonight. But tonight is going to be a tough matchup with those 2 young boys coming in Ann Arbor with the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, it's the 2 projected top 5 picks, and they didn't have to face them both last time.
Right. So this will be a totally different game.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Meanwhile, I know we talked a little bit about the Pistons. Want to shout them out. They rolling, man. 8 straight games. Doing it big without Jaden Ivey. Beat the Celtics by 20. Now I know Jaylen Brown didn't play, but the Celtics still really good without Jaylen Brown, and they stomped those dudes last night. And so to see them doing what they do, of course, Cade his game has ascended to the point where he can carry a team. You can send a couple dudes at him, and you still can't stop him, right? But there needed to be another guy who teams had to account for. And that guy has become Malik Beasley. Now, Malik Beasley can't be a catalyst. He can't create for other guys, but he is a guy that other teams have to guard. Like, you got to figure it out. Like, you can't leave him open. He can make shots on people, and he can do it consistently. Fellas, you talk about free agents. They got to re-sign him, fellas. Like, if you're Trajan Langdon, you got to go high. You got to prioritize signing Malik Beasley. Got to make it happen in a big way. That's got to be more than going out there and spending money on some other dudes. He is a great locker room guy, and he is a star in his role too. He seems to be content and thriving coming off the bench, and is not, like, I gotta go and be in some bigger role someplace else. At least that's how it seems. It feels like as long as you pay him, he would be fine doing what he does. So pay that man his money and keep him in this role.
Yeah, averaging 17 off the bench and 43% from three. He has to be in the 6th man of the year conversation, right? So you have a guy that's that productive in your system with your group of guys. You got to do what you can to re-sign him. But my only thing is, if you do, you'll probably be the first team since he's been in the league to prioritize re-signing him. But I think he's earned it, right? He's played really well for the Pistons. And like we talked about last year, I mean, you asked me about the Pistons last year, right? What did I think about this? Should they break it up, or what you think? What did I think? And I just told you, they just needed time. They had the talent, they had the young players necessary to be good. But those guys, even some of them are still college age guys, right? So they just needed time to grow and get their, put their 10,000 hours in, get a season or two of games under their belts, and now you're seeing a much improved team. And they're going to be even better next year. If they all continue to grow and stay, they'll be even better next year.
Yeah, you're right. It'll be the first time that somebody prioritizes them. But hey, a lot of times, man, it's about finding the right circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he found the right circumstance. Being on this team with Cade, I think JB Bickerstaff has found the right role. I think he be mentorship and how he usage and mentorship. And I think the combination of the two and coming off the bench, I think the combination of all of those things have led him to this position where he's really thrived. And so I think he would also be smart to not chase something that takes him out of this mix that has led him to this success.
Yeah.
It
just depends on the money, right? If somebody comes and throws 20 a year at him and the Pistons only offer him 10, he's gone, right?
Yeah, you're right. Both sides need to come together. Pistons don't trip and not and try to really super lowball him.
Mm-hmm.
Make him a really good offer, but then Malik Beasley don't try to go and be like, hey, you gotta 20 million would be ridiculous.
I got to hit my payday now.
Yeah, I 20 million. Given that this is the first year you've been like this, bro. Come on, man. 20 million would be ridiculous.
Yeah, 17, 18, 17 to 20 a game these days get you about 15 to 20 million a year in the league.
Yeah, he ain't never balled like this. So
nah, he's found, I think, like you say, he's found a home.
Yeah.
Like when you find a home and you find a system and you find a program that brings out the best thing, you might have to give up a few dollars to continue to remain in that situation and be productive.
So, fellas, before we get out of here, I gotta bring up something that it kind of pains me to bring up. It's kind of about the Pistons in a roundabout way. And I call it a self-own, man. You got to stay away from the self-owns. Got to stay away from the self-owns. Because it first came up, the cell phones first came up because I was watching this story about I don't know if y'all saw the Steve Smith story, where the Steve Smith, he got called out on social media because his he was messing with this man's wife. Do you see that, DG?
Oh man.
Oh, DG.
You know, I don't be on the internet like that.
Oh, DG. Oh man, I got to see about. Well, so
we can't put that on this show, Sam.
Yeah, we can't put the tweets on the show. So Steve Smith was messing with
the receiver.
Yeah, Steve Smith, the receiver. So he's on, I guess he NFL Network commentator now.
Mm-hmm.
So he was married with like 3 kids, and he was messing with this woman who was like running like the marketing team for the Ravens. She's married. Right. Her husband finds out about it on her phone, right? So he finds the tweets between, not the tweets, but the text between the wife and Steve Smith.
No, he didn't.
Screenshots the tweet.
No, he did not.
And puts them on Twitter. Puts them on Twitter.
Why ain't nobody send me this? Why you ain't send me that? You don't know what y'all selfish.
But before he puts the tweets on Twitter, the text on Twitter, he calls Steve Smith and say, "Hey man, you doing my wife? What you got to say for yourself?" Steve Smith says, "Sorry." Right? Yeah, he says, wait. The person who is allegedly Steve Smith, let's say it right, says sorry. That's all you got to say is sorry. He doesn't say anything else and then just hangs up. And he puts that on Twitter too, the conversation. He puts it on Twitter and everybody's like, I'm sorry. Why are you putting all this out? Basically, because, man, I mean, when I say these texts, man, this woman is saying, yeah, I like to do this to you and I like to do that to you. And Steve is like, yeah, you like this, don't you? And you like that? It's all in the text.
And y'all didn't send it to me. Thanks.
And he put it all. And when I say he put all this on social media, he tagged the NFL Network, and he tags the Ravens, and he tags the Panthers, and he tags Yeti coolers. I was like, man, what is Yeti cooler going to do? What's Yeti cooler?
Hey, Yeti, like, what we got to do with this?
Hey, but
we're just trying to keep it cold as hell.
Hey, I was asking my wife why would they tag them those entities, right? But she was like, as an HR person, they have morality clauses in some of these deals that they make. I didn't know that. But
right. And so I was like, why would he put all of this on social media? Right? Why are you putting this all out on blast? First of all, clearly this is to embarrass the wife.
Yeah.
That's that part of it.
But is he going to divorce her?
Yeah, clearly he's going to do that.
I hope so.
And why are you calling the Steve Smith part of it? And apparently, according to my man Alan True, who's doing a one-man show next week, by the way, I want to give Alan a shout out in Grand Rapids. Alan says that there is a law in Carolina that says if you get Daniel is pointing out, if you get the person that is engaging in an affair with your spouse to admit it, that you can sue them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can sue them and sue them for damages, and they got to pay you. And not only that, you're right. And not only that that your spouse is not due any spousal support as well.
They don't get nothing in a divorce. Yeah.
So there is a method to the madness, to all of this, and this is not a cell phone. I initially thought that this was a cell phone. I was like, man, this dude is cell phoning. Like, man, like he's putting all this out there on social media. He's cell phoning like you wouldn't believe. Like, I mean, he might think he's in bed. Okay, but this guy is not cell phoning. like I thought he was. Like as I look deeper into it. All right.
Oh, this is a long setup for the other story.
This
Go
is
ahead.
long setup for the other story. Very long setup for the other story. What I initially thought was a cell phone was not a cell phone. Then comes this other story. Similar, but different. Tim Hardaway Sr.
Different, but same.
Right.
Same.
Tim Hardaway Sr. goes on the Gilbert Arenas show. And he talks about how, man, if I was playing today, I would want to go out and bust Tyrese Halliburton's butt. He doesn't say butt.
In other words.
Yeah, I want to go out.
And he kept repeating it over and over and over.
Bust his behind. He
Man, I want him.
He thinks all that. I would want to bust his behind. You know, he talked too much trash, right? So Tyrese Halliburton, who you guys know, I got an issue with the Pistons.
He gave his son 30.
Stood on the table years ago, and it must have been months. Just like I'm standing on the table on this episode, I'm telling Brad Holmes, man, you got to trade up for KG. I was out there for weeks, months even, saying, Troy, Tyrese, and I called the man Tyrese, Michael, Jeffrey, Jordan, Halliburton. You got to draft him. This is the guy. You got to draft him. And he, for some reason, decided that wasn't the guy. He was going to draft a point guard who couldn't shoot, who was a 24% three-point shooter. And wouldn't you know that guy got to the NBA and couldn't shoot? Why wouldn't he be able to shoot in the NBA? Because he couldn't shoot before he got to the NBA, Daniel. And Tyrese Halliburton, he could shoot at Iowa State. He could shoot the blood out the ball at Iowa State. And guess what he could do in the NBA? He could shoot the blood out the ball in the NBA. For some reason, they thought because his shot was funky, he wasn't going to be able to shoot. But anyway, I digress. So Tyrese Halliburton is talking trash to everybody because he is killing everybody. And Tim Hardaway Sr. doesn't like it, right? So Tyrese catches wind that Tim is talking trash on this podcast. Tim Sr. wants to bust his behind. And he said, no, Tim. No. No. You don't want to
know what this is all about.
You don't want to bust my ass because I'm shooting all these threes. You don't want to bust my ass because I gave the Pistons 30. That ain't why you want to bust my ass. Tell him why, Tim. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I don't know the story. I have the slightest clue what Tyrese Halliburton is talking about. And then the story starts to come out. So 25 years ago, Tim was a Miami Heat. A member of the Miami Heat. Tim was balling.
He was a Heato.
Yeah, he was balling. He was killing it. Eddie Jones was on the Heat. He was balling. He was killing it too. And apparently, so the story goes, Eddie Jones, Mrs. Hardaway,
had their time.
Hardaway, Eddie Jones, nature.
See how you doing that, Sam? That's why Tyrese Halliburton is a you know what for saying that. That's see how you doing that right now? Because it's not cool. It's not.
But
do that.
And so Tyrese Halliburton is Eddie Jones's cousin, right? And so Tyrese Halliburton is said. So that's why you want to. That's why you coming out. It don't have nothing to do.
Yeah.
With how I'm talking trash and how I'm busting all this behind. You don't like me because my cousin was back in the day. And I'm like, oh, no. Oh, why are we doing, oh, no. Don't bring this up. No, man. Why we got to bring this up, senior? We should
your mouth. That's the problem with podcasts. Just be talking, just talking. And you know, if you know this, did he know it was his cousin? If you know this, just be cool. Don't bring that man into this because you don't know how petty someone else is. You just don't know. You just don't know. You don't know how petty other people are. And Tyrese Halliburton said, my petty is on 99. 99.
I didn't know this.
99.
I didn't know this story. I had decided, man, I'll follow the NBA. I didn't know this story at all. And you know, listen, women.
Nobody did. That's why Tyrese Halliburton should have kept his mouth shut about that.
Women break. You guys know women break up teams. This is what apparently, allegedly, supposedly broke up the Mavericks back in the day. You remember the
bad boy Pistons? They got stories about them too.
Oh yeah. Dennis Rodman's wife with Vinnie Johnson. Yeah, man. Oh, absolutely. They break up teams all the time. And so you remember when it was it Jason Kidd and Jimmy Jackson?
Yep.
And Tony Braxton?
Yep.
With the Mavericks?
Yep, back in the 90s. Yep.
Back in the come on, man. But now Tyrese Halliburton is like, you don't like me because my cousin Eddie Jones and your wife. And so you know me, man, I'm thinking about, if it's me, I'm thinking about, come on, Tim. If it's even a chance that this could be brought up, why bring this to the surface? And if not for me, for Tim Jr.
For your son, just
Tim
keep it
Jr.
to yourself. You done made your money. You done had your time. You don't need to be on this podcast. You don't need to be on this podcast talking like that.
Come on, man.
You best believe somebody's getting fouled hard, or they go be, you know, dudes in the NBA ain't gonna really fight, but somebody's gonna be chest to chest when they play each other again for sure.
If not, get 35. Now that's 2 losses.
Man, I don't care about the 35. We gotta have a conversation in the parking lot in the
man.
Hey, bro.
Like
I
you said,
I understand you got a problem with my dad. Y'all got whatever going. Hey, bro, leave my mom out of this, fam. You got
like
to see me.
These NBA dudes ain't about to do nothing. he about to hip check him a little bit, and that's it. Maybe. And that's a big maybe, because at that point for Tim, you don't want to put yourself in a position like where you ruining stuff, because you're in a good position with the Pistons.
Yeah.
You know, they're playing well. You don't want to ruin it because of this. So, I mean, your daddy got to shut up. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, man.
I agree with that. You gotta, you know, like, keep it G, Tim Hardaway saying, you on the podcast, man. Like, let these young boys have their shine. Like, Tyrese Halliburton
too old to be doing that, man.
Yeah, like stay in the OG's place, but at the same time, Halliburton say, bro, you putting
man.
You walking a dangerous line right now, bro.
TikToks. You not expect him to bring this up? He dances on TikTok.
Yeah. He got to slow his roll though. Like he talks, and then he talking about something that's like don't have nothing to do with him. You know what I'm saying?
He's living high. He got a gold medal. He's I'm better than you. I'm better than you and your son. Basically, what he's saying.
Hey, so you know it's been like really contentious games between the Pistons and the Pacers lately anyway. Like technical fouls,
stuff. Hold on, it go way back. You know that Mouse in the Palace. Come on, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's right. But I'm talking about lately with this current team. So now I don't know, man.
The Pistons, and then the Pistons are now a threat, right? A real threat.
Ain't no way if I'm Tim Hardaway Jr. Ain't no way I'm Tim Hardaway Jr. First time Halliburton run past me, I gotta hit it.
Are you go? No. I gotta ask you this, Daniel.
Or we gotta talk about it.
Are you gonna form tackle him? I would form tackle him.
I'm going.
No, I'm talking. Remember Goldberg with WCW, and then he transferred to WWF. I'm talking about
spear.
Size him up, and as he's dribbling, run and put your shoulder in his sternum.
Hey, it would cross my mind. It would cross my mind, but I'm gonna say that for the parking lot of the
tunnel after. Tackle him in the parking lot. You gonna scrape your knee on the cement?
We got. Nah, but seriously though, it got to be a conversation had amongst men, right? I won't. I'm not going to advocate for violence amongst men, right? But it definitely has to be some sort of conversation had between the two guys that's in the league, right? Because they're going to have to see each other on a consistent basis. The dad, you got to be quiet, right?
Yeah, man. That's why
but the two guys in the league, we got to have a hey, bro, don't mention my mom in that tone, in that. Don't do that, bro.
Yeah, I gotta call the original foul on Senior though.
Yeah,
and I'm a Senior fan, but come on, man, we can't bring this up. We can't bring. And the reason we can't bring it up is because of Junior. I gotta be thinking about my son who gotta play. He gotta be on the court right now. Like, as much as I'm having my fun, and I'm talking about you.
Hey, and I hate to bring this up because Rudy T is a Michigan guy, but it would be some Kermit Washington action. It would be seriously like it would take a lot to keep me from like, hey, he run past me, just like it just because you're being like I would say you want to talk like my dad said he wanted to bust your ass on the court. Now you bringing my mom into it. Like that's not cool at all. I don't.
Wait, hold on. We got to give some responsibility to the mama too now.
I'm not.
I don't want to go there.
There got to be responsibility all around.
I hear you.
We can't be blaming Halliburton for just putting out the stuff when he was attacked. He was probably playing video games, getting ready to prepare his new TikTok dance, and you attacking this man on the internet.
I hear you.
Moms and kids off the table, bro. That ain't it.
I don't want to talk about the man.
You hear that, Sam? Moms and kids off the table.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the man's mama. Yeah. Come on, Tim. Come on, bro. We can't bring this up. Is the point. We can't bring this up. We can't make it a target. You made it a target. Is the problem. We gotta let sleeping dogs lie. That's what we gotta do. Let sleeping dogs lie.
I hope Junior go for 50 when they play him next time.
That would be the get back for real.
Yeah,
that'd be good. Because you can't just 50. Really fight. You can't fight. You gotta go put 50 on him.
Yeah. You can't fight, but I would definitely it'd be a man-to-man conversation. I'm trying to go for 50 afterwards. I'm trying to, I gotta send some sort of message that this ain't. And the
NBA got to step in and allow him to stare him down every time he scores. Don't be trying to get his man technical fouls when he's staring his man down. First of all, it's stupid to give a technical foul because you looked at somebody. That's real weird.
Yeah,
but
let him
in this case, you have to allow him to stare him down after he scores.
Let him talk a little trash.
This is when it goes beyond. Remember, we had this conversation before, and I said when smack talk goes over the line, like when it was Carmelo.
Oh yeah.
And KG said your wife tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios.
Man,
it's like, hey man, see,
KG almost lost his life that day. He don't even know
it. This is when smack talk go. You over the line. We not smack talking anymore. Now we taking it off the court. This is not a game. This is not a game now.
And that's the line. That's the line you tinkering with when you make those type of comments.
Him Senior need to see Eddie Jones.
I'm sure that happened already.
That's right. No, because he's still upset. Obviously, he need to see Eddie Jones.
I'm sure that happened. He's so mad. He's still talking about it 25 years later. He's not over it. He's not over it. So, but we can't let it affect Junior. Is my point.
Yeah, that ain't fair. It's not fair. It's not fair because Tim Hardaway Jr. don't got nothing to do with this. He wasn't even born. Wait, 25 years ago? Oh no, he was born. He was born. He's born. But he wasn't got nothing to do with this. He don't have to
do with that. Yeah, nah, man, dude. Halliburton wild.
He catching strays, man.
All right, man. We gotta go, man. We gotta go. All right, now. I know we got our loyal fan, but we be on these episodes for like an hour and 40 minutes.
Hey, Sam. My people say y'all don't have a podcast. Y'all got another radio show.
All right, folks. We appreciate you hanging with us like always. We'll see you on the next edition of Steady Droppin Dimes.